We interrupt programming for a breaking news flash. Unconfirmed reports reaching us just now at the Fort Hall School of Government are that the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy, popularly known as CORD, is dead. The victim was found lying unconscious near Orange House. The coalition died at the tender age of 4 and is survived by a handful of political parties, the most famous of which is the Orange Democratic Movement, or DM. Reports reaching us indicate that 4 suspects have been identified by the Directorate of Political Investigations, DPI.
Mara wanasema ni ule mganga ambaye tunasikia amebaki na risasi moja, sijui ni risasi ya kupiga nani. Ama ni jamaa ule mwingine wa katikati ajulikane anaenda pande hii ama anaenda pande ile. Ama ni yule mwingine tunasikia alipigwa na bibi juzi.
The chief suspect bears the following traits. His egotism is characterized by charisma, grandiosity, and pride. His Machiavellian nature is shown by his tendency to manipulate and exploit others. This is someone with a total disregard for morality and who focuses only on self-interest and deception. Finally, he is a political psychopath, superficially charming, articulate, and devoid of anxiety. But he is cold-hearted, devious, and self-centered with a reputation for betrayal.
In analyzing this case, we will borrow from 3 rules used by Sherlock Holmes. Rule 1. We must look for consistency. Where there is want of it, we must suspect deception. When a man does a strange thing or 2 strange things, there may be meaning to it, but when everything he does is strange, then you begin to wonder.
Niseme kama chama cha ODM tunatangaza rasmi leo mbele bendera yetu ya chama cha urais ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Rule 2. The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes, and there is nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact.
He didn't come. We don't want to speculate because we haven't spoken since. When he comes back from Tanzania, where we understand he later went in the Bay, he will be the one to answer the question.
Rule 3. What you do in this world is a matter of no consequence. The question is, what can you make people believe you have done? Because people see, but they do not observe. Remember, the most difficult crime to track is the one which is purposeless.
Kabla sijasema machache, niko na wenzangu hapa ambao walikuwa marafiki sana wa mzee Mtimama. Niko hapa ndugu yangu Moses Wetangula, nataka aje hapa aseme machache. My other colleague, Honorable Musalia. Karibu. Musalia Mudavadi. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
I actually agree with Raila Odinga that all that the core principles in court deserve are lollipops. He can abuse them, he can play ping pong with them, and then give them a lollipop, and they're more than happy to come back to the fold. And I say this because CORD is actually a leech that sucks political lifeblood from Raila and from ODM. It appears like this time round ODM has said, look, we don't necessarily need you. And they seem to have unplugged the lifeblood. And of course, if you remove the source of the blood, the patient dies. And naturally, CORD has had to die. So it was not killed, in my view. CORD basically died because it was denied of some lifeblood.
This is a story for Kalonzo Musyoka and Moses Wetangula. One day, a scorpion asked a frog to carry it across the river. The frog said, "Absolutely not. How will I know that you will not sting me?" And the scorpion replied, Why would I sting you? If I stung you, we would both drown and die. So this response made sense to the trusting frog, and he agreed to carry the scorpion across the river on his back. But midstream, the scorpion stung the frog. The frog started gasping and sinking, and then he asked the scorpion, "Why? Why would you do that?" And the scorpion replied, "I couldn't help it. It's in my nature." Is it in the nature of Raila to betray his colleagues?
This question must be posed differently. Is the death of Cord a case of betrayal, or is it a necessary political realignment? Do recall that Raila has realigned his forces every election. This is why he has had a new running mate every election. In 2007, he had Mudavadi. In 2013, he had Kalonzo. Will he have a new running mate this time around? And is the death of Cord about a new running mate? And is this the political mating season? I think Raila is executing a scheme. The rise of Joho is curious. And in my view, my reading would be that I think Raila is considering seriously having Joho as running mate. Joho has the energy of William Ruto. He has the consummate toolbox of tactics and strategies the way William Ruto does. And to be able to fight what Kibaki called the dynamic duo, you need a dynamic group of people. And I think that to some extent, Kalonzo Musyoka and Wetangula have become slow punched, and I think they are a liability to Raila Odinga. And as is known, the vehicle now has moved from CORD and has moved to ODM. And I would want to bet that the party Raila will run in will be ODM. And then he'll bring in everybody else into this particular movement. And he will, through the movement, form a coalition. So the coalition, in my view, is going to be the movement being ODM. I could also be wrong.